What's happening, everybody? It's me, Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays, and I'm here with another college basketball free pick. This one is for your Wednesday, November the 19th. I'm excited about this one. I was excited about my yesterday pick too, but I'm pretty excited about this one because first of all, it's two coaches I really, really like a lot, two very different styles of basketball that are going down, and two very highly ranked teams. So all this together makes Allie a happy girl. We're talking about number 4, Arizona, at number 3, UConn. The line on this one, I did see it at Con -5. Now it's up to a 5.5, which means a little bit of money's coming in on UConn. They're moving that line right along. And we've got a total of a 156.5. Okay. So anyone who knows me and how I like to handicap basketball, I'm kind of like a documentary style capper, right? I need to know their whole life story is kind of how I go about doing this. And I find the things that stand out the most to me in this instance, it's going to be coaching. Coaching and experience are what we're going to talk about today. So Arizona. Both of these teams are 4-0 to start out with. And this is a little tip for anyone who might be new, or maybe you're even old and you just never thought of it before when you're handicapping college basketball, right? Now, if you notice, Arizona's 4-0. And if you pull up like your ESPN stats or whatever stats you see, it's going to say versus UCLA, versus NAU, right? Instead of at. And you're going to assume that they have not yet played an away game. They haven't been on the road yet this season, right? But wrong. And let me tell you why. What happens with a lot of these schools, and especially the bigger schools, is that early in the season, they're playing in tournaments. And because they're a high-ranked school, they are considered the home team in that tournament. And so all those numbers go into their home slot, right? Their home column for their points for and against. However, those are actually away points and against, aren't they? Okay, so this is not Arizona's first road game. Actually, their first game of the season was against Florida right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Remember that one? That was a good one. They won 93-87. They covered the +3.5. It went over. Then they play Utah Tech in Arizona. Then they play Northern Arizona in Arizona. But their last game, the one they just got done with, was against UCLA, and that was in Inglewood, California. So already twice, Arizona has been on the road and played two tournament type games, right? Situations. So that's not a factor. It's not their first road game. Let's keep that in mind moving forward. Let's flip over to UConn. Okay, UConn. Wow. So they're all at home. They are one that, no, sorry, I'm wrong because their last one was BYU and I bet on that and I cashed it. Hold on, I'll tell you about it. Okay, so they played New Haven. They're new to the Division I. New Haven is new. They beat the pants off them. They did not cover 12.5, but first game of the season, all the things. They played the Monroes, did cover the 36.5 on that one. It went over. Then they play Columbia, did not cover there. None of these schools are good schools. None of those three are any good. But then their last matchup, they were playing BYU in Boston, right? And I was all about BYU because BYU has a kid who's from like 30 minutes outside of Boston, but actually so does UConn. But then I put it together. BYU's farther away. It's in Utah than Boston. So the kid from UConn probably gets to see his Boston family all the time. BYU is going to show up +5.5, and I cashed that. Okay. Now that game, I tell you about that because I think it has something to do with this game. It's the same spread. It's still 5.5, which is what BYU was. But do you lay it, right? Do you lay it with Connecticut? So we definitely have Arizona with a little bit of a tougher schedule, right? Strength of schedule. They've already moved around a bit. They've played a little bit of tougher teams. They've had the lights on them, televised games, whereas UConn only won by 2. Yeah, 86-84 against BYU in their big time game, right? So let's flip over. Let's look at the guys who are playing the game, okay? So here's a little history lesson on college basketball for you. Buy the plus money, honey. Okay, so once upon a time, there was a team called Gonzaga, and they ruled the land. They had a king named Mark Few, and he did one thing really, really well that other people weren't really doing so much of the time, which was recruit players from other far-off lands, right? Now, Mark Few, the king, had a prince underneath him, and his name was Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd is now the coach of Arizona, all right? But when Tommy was at Gonzaga, his whole jam, what he was there to do was he was the international recruiter, right? So that was his thing. He was the head coach for the US in the FIBA under 18. I need to put my glasses on. Please hold. Excuse me. Under 18 AmeriCup. They won gold 2024 Argentina, FIBA under 19 Basketball World Cup, gold 2025 in Switzerland. So this guy knows the international market really well, and his roster of players really shows it. Now, another fun fact about Tommy Lloyd is that he was with Gonzaga from 2010 to 2001 to 2021. So a long time. And then he pops over in 2021 to 22 season and gets to Arizona, right? So he's only been there for a hot minute. First year, 33-4 record. They do the Sweet 16, 22-23. They get to the dance, don't do much. Next year, Sweet 16. Last year, Sweet 16, right? So a lot of tournament experience with this coach, a lot of international players for this coach, and this is the fun fact I alluded to, his 61 wins in his first 2 seasons at Arizona is the most for any head coach in Division I basketball. So that's kind of a big deal, right? Kind of a big deal. So we've got all of that going down, and I just really tell you that about Tommy Lloyd. So, and the reason I tell you this about a lot of the teams that I handicap and will be handicapping through the future is because keep this in your mind. This is the way that the team plays, right? That coach is building what we're watching, right? And we want to pay attention to the way that he builds it. So needless to say, we've got a lot of international kids on this team, and I like an international squad. I really do. They play kind of a different style of basketball. They're usually more mature. They've been playing in bigger tournaments for their national teams for years, longer than like our high school kids typically do. The only thing I don't love about this squad of international kids, and we've got 3 out of 5 starters from overseas. We got Germany, Lithuania, and no, that just says San Bernardino, California. I used to live in San Bernardino. That's funny. So 2 out of 5 starters are foreigners. However, on deck, he's got Senegal, Netherlands, France, England, and Anthony Delorso is a senior. I really like this kid. He's from Australia. He plays off the bench. So the thing about most of these guys, except for that senior I just talked about, is they're young. This is a young team, and I think that's going to be the difference maker when we're looking at who to play in the game. Okay, so now we're going to flip over to UConn. Now, I might lose a lot of viewers and a lot of likes on this. I'm a huge Duke Blue Devils fan. I always have been. There's nothing I can do about it. Don't talk crap, okay? And my favorite Duke Blue Devil was none other than Bobby Hurley, right? Number 11. I wear his jersey all the time. Bobby Hurley has a little brother named Danny Hurley, and Danny Hurley went to Seton Hall, which is where my stepdad actually went to college. So I've been a big Hurley family fan since I was like 11 years old, right? And now I'm, so, it's been a long time. UConn's got its own jazz going on, okay? It's not that we don't have international players over there, because we do. There are a bunch of we got 4 freshmen, 3 freshmen, but that's not the meat and potatoes of this team. What's the big difference? Arizona has international guys, but they're more underclassmen. We've got Americans, and those Americans are upperclassmen on the UConn program, okay? Senior, junior, senior, junior, junior. So why is this important? It's because Danny Hurley, he's a really tactical guy, right? He's a really analytical guy. He's data driven, and having the same players play for him, and kind of like how Coach K with Duke is or was, is that you set up your squad, they have goals, they have missions to complete, they have targets to hit, and that's kind of how he runs his squad. It's not like as fast and loose as some other coaches might. Sorry, I got a little fuzz on my nose and it's bugging me. As some other coaches play. We also know Danny Hurley has won the whole damn thing twice, right? UConn has been kind of like a powerhouse. Not kind of like, they are a powerhouse. That's a real thing. in the NCAA. So they have tournament experience. And granted, like we said, Arizona had, they've Sweet 16 for every year, just about that Lloyd has been there, except for one. But these are freshman kids, so they don't actually have any tournament experience, unlike UConn, who does. And not that this is a tournament, but you know what I'm saying. This is a big game. This is number 4 and number 3. This is like let it all hang out kind of stuff, right? Some little tips about Bobby Hurley. Oh, and UConn has a guy named Solo Ball, right? Not related to the Mellow Ball dynasty, if you will. Not related to any of those balls. He's a solo ball, right? Wonder what happened there. Sounds like a bad accident. So he's known, I took some notes on him. He's known for being able to shoot triples while moving. So that's kind of a big deal, right? Him and Jaden Ross, who also plays on UConn, they played together. Played with UConn. Okay, I don't know what I was writing there, but they played together before now. Okay, obviously, because that's what I was trying to say when I was making notes. He's a guy who has the ability to play through contact. He cuts well and he rebounds on the perimeter. Okay, so this is their superstar dude right here, Solo Ball. This is who we're going with. He's a junior from Virginia, and we love him. Also, don't forget that last year they won the Big East tournament. Maybe they didn't win the whole damn dance, but they did win the Big East. So there is that. So yeah, I am feeling, if you haven't got it from me already. So taking a side on this one's a little bit tricky for me. If I had to take a side, I would take UConn and lay the points. I don't love doing that. I don't love laying points. And even as I said that, when it came out of my mouth, it sounds dirty, because ultimately what I think could happen is an overtime game, because Tommy Lloyd's squad plays an up-tempo style of basketball, right? They are fast. There it is, free-flowing, ability to get to the free throw line, high assist, strong inside play, high scoring in transition, all those things. UConn does that too. They're just a little bit more militant about it, right? They're a little bit more structured than that, but they take high volume shots from the three-point line and around the perimeter. It's data-driven. Dan Hurley is a coach that he uses an analytics guide to say, okay, all the data says that you shoot best when you shoot from right here. So go shoot from right here, like all the time. And that's how that kind of rolls. So I'm going to roll over a 156.5. The reason I'm not, I take it back. I take it back, the UConn -5, is because I think this game could go to overtime. I haven't really seen enough out of these Arizona guys, and I did see BYU do some things. Why I would lean the UConn side, though, is because they did just almost get beat by BYU, so that's kind of a factor also. So basically, look, final answer. Over 156.5, because I think overtime's a possibility. 2 up-tempo offenses, and 2 like high energy coaches. So I think over is the way we go. I also like an over in the first half. And then the other one, what else was I going to say? I had another thing. I don't remember it. Overtime prop. Maybe, throw a buck on that overtime prop, because I'm sure it's like a plus 1,600. Throw a $5 on there, because it feels like the kind of game that could most definitely go into overtime. Okay, guys, that is what I got for you today. If you want more of me, find me over on X at +moneyhoney. And then over at picksandparlays.net, that's where we keep all of our premium plays. Bam, right there. I don't sell my picks. I give them all out for free to you. But if you do want more of this action, make sure that you're following us at Picks Parlays. Give me a like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all the things. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Let's go with the over 156.5 when Arizona plays UConn on Wednesday night. Bye, guys. Good luck, everyone.